Hello, in this video we are going to look at bearings. So this is the first video of about 3 videos that I'll do on bearings. And we're just focusing on getting this right, getting the bearing from O to A or the bearing from A to O. So we've got a few questions to get through. First thing is there's 2 types of bearings. There's compass bearings, which are measured from north or south. So these are examples of compass bearings, north 30 degrees east or south 80 degrees west. The other type is true bearings, which are always measured clockwise from north. So 2 things about true bearings, they've got 3 digits and they've got a T on the end. So 030 degrees true or 260 degrees true are true bearings. That's going to be our focus of this video, is true bearings. The next thing is the bearing from A to B is not the same as the bearing from B to A. So this is the bearing from A to B. And from B to A, you're looking back that way. Okay? So maybe pause this slide and try and understand why the bearings are different. The next thing is from is your starting point. From is your starting point. We're going to see that soon, okay? This thing here, okay, so we've got, with bearings, a direction, so north, south, east, west, and an angle. So you want to be familiar with how to label your angle from north. So we start at 0, start at north with true bearings, and then 0, 90, 180, 270, 360. So back to 0. Okay. First question. Write the true bearing of A from O. I'm always looking for that from. From means overlay your compass. From O means overlay your compass onto O. True bearings are measured from north. So this one's quite easy. It's just 40 degrees true. 40 degrees true. Write the true bearing of O from A. From A. Okay, let's get a different color. From A means overlay your compass onto A. And there's something I prepared earlier as a compass. Okay, I've overlaid my compass. Now I'm working out, let me just have a look. The true bearing is from north all the way around. Now, how can I find that? So that red one is our true bearing. Okay. How could I find that angle? Okay. I know some things about angles on parallel lines, right? You're looking for these N's and Z's. That's the trick with these problems, okay? When I say N's and Z's, I'm talking like that. Those things. They're angles on parallel lines. Alternating angles are equal. So that's something I like to draw out. So that's equal to that, which means that angle in there is 40. But we have to add on that like sort of semicircle angle, right? So let's do that in pink. So this full true bearing, can you see that it's going to be 180 plus 40? 180 plus 40, oh, messy handwriting today, is 220 degrees, and we've got to put a T on the end for true. Now, we're going to keep practicing and really get this right, okay? Write the true bearing of O from A. From A means overlay your compass onto A. And then let's have a look. Okay. So I rule this right around. And I know that the true bearing is from north. I've got a semicircle in there, which means I know that that's 180. Now, how on earth can I find this little orange angle in here that I'm going to do? I'm going to put it in orange. could I find that? Interesting. That angle, I'm looking for ends again. I can see a back to front N. I can see a back to front N. How could I find this angle in here? Because if I know that angle, I'll know this angle. This angle is going to be, well, this full thing is 90 degrees, right? And they've given us this little acute angle is 23. So the orange angle is going to be 90 take 23. And I could do that in my head, but that's not happening now. So that's 67. I hope that this makes sense. 67 is in there. So our true bearing from O to A is going to be, our true bearing from O to A is this full thing. It's going to be 180 plus 67. 180 plus 67 is 247. And the next question is a bit easier. Write the true bearing of A from O. From O means overlay your compass on O. True bearing means measure from north. And we have that, right? We've got that. We just found it. 67 degrees, which was 90 take 23. So you could even write that, 90 take 23. And true bearings have 3 digits. I'm going to put an O on the front and a T on the end. A 0 at the front, sorry. Next one. True bearing of A from O. True bearing means from north. From north. And we know that that little angle in there is 35. So that's good. We're going to be adding it onto something. But what do we add onto it? What do we add onto it? This right angle. Okay? This angle is a right angle, which is 90. So 90 plus 35, not using my calculator, 125 degrees true. Write the true bearing of O from A. From A means overlay the compass with your degrees. Now what's happening? Okay. Of O from A means from, we want to go all the way around, Now I'm looking at this and I'm seeing, okay, it's going to be 270, right? It's going to be 270. And we're adding on this little angle. Let's put it in pink. Well, actually, I'm going to put it in blue because it is the same as this blue angle given. Can you see this is a back to front Z? Back to front Z, I hope you can see that. So that's an alternating angle. So we know that that little blue angle is 35. We're going to get lots of practice. So don't stress. 270 plus 35 is 305 degrees true. My handwriting is not cooperating today. Okay. True bearing of A from O. From O, overlay the compass. Let's get this one. And true bearing is from north. So that's what we're looking for. Now, how do you reckon we're going to find that orange angle given that little angle in here? Okay, this time we are going to be subtracting this little thing, this little acute angle, from the full angle, which is 180. So sometimes you have to add, sometimes you have to subtract. Okay? It's important. This one's going to be 180 take 38. 180 take 38. 142 degrees true. Okay, write the true bearing of O from A, overlay onto A. And true bearing means measure from north all the way around to the angle. Now looking at this, I can see that there's a couple ways to do it too, but this is how I do it. I can see that that's 270 and then I'm adding on whatever this little angle is. I'll put down 270 plus. Now how can I find that little angle in there? Again, you're looking for Z's and N's and all those things, okay? Z's, back to front Z's. They should be parallel lines there, whoops. Okay, anyway, let's get rid of that. Let's just try work this out. That's a couple of ways to do it too, I realized. So that there, what's this green angle in here going to be? That green angle is going to be 90 take 38, right? This is 90 take 38. But actually, I'm going to show you a different way to do it because I realize I don't want to do more calculations than I need to. So instead of that 270 thing, there's another way we can go about it. We know that this full thing is 360, right? Okay. Hang on. Takes a little while. I can see an N just from that orange angle, right? I can see an N here. So you could do the 270 plus that little bit in there, or you could do 360, take away what you already know. 360 take 38. Take away that N rule. Okay. So 360 take 38 is 322 degrees true. Getting there. We're just trying to do as many as possible to really get a feel for it. So I've tried to include one in each quadrant. True bearing of A from O. Of A from O. Well, we'll overlay our compass onto O. True bearing, again, measured from north. How could I find it? A couple of ways, right? But I think it's good to go, so put your compass, 0, 90, 180, 270. This angle in here is going to be 270 take 42. 270 take away 42. $270 is 228 degrees true. True bearing of O from A. From A, overlay compass on A. And you just work out what you're given. Okay, I'm just going to try and minimize my calculations. I can see a Z. I can see a Z. Whoops. I can see a Z. Oh. What do you think the true bearing is? The true bearing's measured from north. How could I find that angle given the green angle is 42? Well, I know that the full thing around is 90, so I'm going to take away that green angle. 90, take 42. 90 take 42. 48 degrees true. Okay. And I really hope, yes, okay, this is the last question. Write the true bearing of A from O. From O, overlay compass, and just draw it around, draw it around. That's what we're looking for. How can we get there? Well, it's nearly at 360, all right? If we label it up, 0, 90, 180, 270, 360. So we may as well just, to find this full angle, subtract the tiny angle of 30. So 360 take 30 is 330 degrees true. Okay. Write the true bearing of O from A. From A, bring it on over. And you're looking for your ends. You don't want to do more calculations than you need to. I can see an N. Alternating angles are equal. Okay, and I'm going to just put how my true bearings measured from north. So how could I find that? Given we know what this little angle is and we know what the full angle is, right? It's at 180. So you're just going to subtract from 180 this time. Okay, 180, take whatever that little green angle is, 30, is 150 degrees true. So that's that. Okay, summary. True bearings, 3 figures and a degrees true. So if you've only got in that first quadrant, make sure you put a 0 at the front to make sure it's 3 figures. Bearing of A from B means overlay your compass on B. B is the start point. Always look for angles on parallel lines. Alternate angles are equal. And you can also use this co-interior angles add to 180, but I just tend to use alternating angles as fine. And just remember how to label your quadrants: 0, 90, 180, 270, 360. You're just adding 90 each time if you forget. Okay, and I hope that that helped, and I'll see you in the next video, which is going to be a few word problems, okay? So I will see you then.